Hi creative friends, this is Rhea and thank you so much for being here. So I allowed this to dry overnight and I am so loving just everything that is going on the page. Now what I'm gonna do is just quickly get out my viewfinder and just take a look at some of the little pieces here. Now I just want to reiterate that the viewfinder is such an amazing way to isolate parts of the spread that you're looking at, whether you're working in this way or whether you're working on your own spread from scratch. Like, it doesn't matter, because what you're doing is you are just looking at different parts of the painting, not the whole. And so I might go, wow, I really like this part over here, and you can make it as big or as small as you want. Like, this is just a piece of Bristol paper and I just cut this out, and I probably didn't even do a very good job of it, honestly. And you know, you can even make 2 or 3 of these in different sizes, but for me, I mean, I can just kind of like move it around. But you know, it's totally up to you. But see, so over here I am really loving this piece over here. I am so loving it, but when I move it like this, I'm not really digging this over here. So I'm isolating parts and just looking at what I want to keep, and I'm really loving the red here, but I want to keep Connie's red. She made this lady have red hair, so I want to keep that. And then I don't know that this red is going to be good over there, because you know, it's too much red and there's not enough of differentiation between, say, the red hair and the shoulders here. So I might use some of my own collage here or add some pink, I think. But I am so loving a lot of what is going on here. So I'm just gonna dive right in, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put some pink over here, and I want my Holbein Luminous Opera. I think that's gonna be like a really good kind of an addition to this light pink. It's gonna still be in the same color family, but it's gonna be different from this red. But Connie still has some pinks in the red hair, so I just think pink is gonna be a really great addition over here. So what I am going to do is, ooh, I love this. Oh my goodness. So actually it was Connie who turned me on to this Luminous Opera when we were in Oaxaca, and she said that, you know, she was raving about it, so I tried it out, and yeah, I have to agree. It is simply just luscious. I mean, you could eat it. Like, you can literally eat this paint. I mean, not literally, sorry, but you know what I mean. So I think I'm gonna drag some of this up here, but still keep that orange. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix some of my cashew chalk paint, because I want there to be a little bit of variation in this pink here. And now the way Connie has done this, I don't know if you guys can see it, and I can't come too close to the camera because then it's gonna be too close and cut it off, but like, she kind of has the hair, I don't know how to explain it, but the shoulders should be like, kind of like overlapping the hair. So she's playing with space, and I don't know if I'm gonna keep that or not. Like, I love discovering all these little like tricks and irregularities. So she's playing with space here, and I really do like that, actually. It's like really interesting to me. So you guys, while I'm working here, I just want to talk a little bit about you know, the way we paint in regards to realism and catering to the outside gaze, etc. And I think I touched upon this in my videos when I talked about Elizabeth Gilbert and Big Magic, her book, and when she talked about creativity. And I think I've covered it in a few other videos, but you know, I'm just going to be working here, so I think this is a good time to talk about it because Connie is playing with space here. So when I first started painting and drawing, I was really concerned about realism. And if I'm going to be 100% honest with myself, first of all, and, you know, with whoever's watching this, a lot of my concerns were based in ego. You know, like, oh, like, what is somebody going to think? And, you know, I need to be able to render something as realistically as possible. Now, this is when I was like, say, in my mid 20s, I guess. Because when I was a teenager and I first started art journaling, I wasn't concerned about any of that stuff because it kind of was an accidental thing, the way I started art journaling. But then later on in my mid 20s, when I did start taking art classes, I was very, very concerned about, well, I want to learn as much as I can about color and line and drawing, which there is nothing wrong with that. Of course, we are always constantly learning and there's nothing wrong with that. However, with me, I was too outwardly focused. It was almost like, well, I was doing it for external validation, and that was a very slippery slope. So I had to unlearn a lot of those things, which doesn't mean I don't learn now. I mean, I'm constantly learning about color and drawing and etc., etc. That never stops. But then, you know, the why, it's the intention. Now I'm learning simply to be learning. And I'm just going to move this pink around here. I think this is a good place to kind of add a little bit of it. You know, it depends on the why. And so working in a book like this, it's so freeing because I'm not concerned about any of that. And I think when I did the flip through of this book, it's just like, because I'm so inspired by what's already on the page, and Connie is such a great example of this. Like, she's playing with space. Like this, if you had to really look at it, it does not make sense. I'm going to bring this up closer again because it's illustrating exactly my point. So this is not making any sense if you look at it, you know, in a very logical way, because this is a lady and her shoulder should actually kind of come like so. If the hair was going to be coming like over top of her shoulder and covering it, then her hair would be longer, because like, it's hard for me to explain, but it just doesn't make logical sense the way this is. But it makes perfect sense in terms of, you know, composition, in terms of, you know, perhaps what Connie is trying to do, and it works. It works. It gives the painting interest, curiosity, depth, beauty, and I'm gonna keep it. I'm not gonna change it. Whereas if I had to work in a book like this, like in my mid 20s, this would drive me nuts. Like, this would seriously drive me bonkers, because I would be constantly trying to fix it and say, well, you know, this doesn't make any sense and blah, 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 blah. And even like 15 years ago, my art was way too tight. And there's nothing wrong with tight drawings. That's not what I'm saying. But it wasn't me. It wasn't, it didn't make me happy. There are people who love doing tight drawings, and then they take a class and maybe perhaps the teacher tells them, well, why are you drawing so tight? You need to loosen up. And I don't think that is right either. There is no right or wrong way. It's about what you want to do. Like, do you want to make a tight drawing? Well, then make a tight drawing. But do you want to make a loose drawing or a painting? Then, you know, do that. So I'm not saying that loose is better. I'm saying it's better for me. So I hope I'm conveying that, you know, accurately. I'm going to drag some of this pink in here. Now, I am really loving this, you guys. Like, so much about this is, I'm just loving it so much. Now, I think I am gonna drag the pink in here. Yep, I'm gonna kind of go like this. And for some strange reason, I think I want to make some dots here in blue. Just because I'm feeling it, but also I want to drag, like I want to kind of drag the blue from this line. I want to kind of drag it. I want to drag it into the pink a little bit just to move the eye around. But that's another thing I'm learning from working in a book like this is, you know, Connie doesn't repeat everything to keep the eye moving around the page. Like sometimes she'll just isolate something and just leave it on one part of the spread and it works. So I'm unlearning a lot of things as well. Ooh, now I'm really loving this. And I'm just gonna put some dots. I think I'm gonna put them over here actually. Just randomly, I mean. And maybe like three lines down here of these dots. Ooh, I am so loving this, you guys. Oh my god. And now what I'm gonna do is just work a little bit over here. Drag the pink. Now I have to figure out what am I going to do with the background here. I am going to keep this background, I think, because I'm really loving it. But over here, I'm not really digging that orange. But I don't want to put blue either because the face is blue and I think I am going to keep this face. So I don't know. And I think, unfortunately, see these two lines here? I think that came from my paint actually running. I don't think that was on there originally, so I'm gonna just get it off. Now this is the cover of the book, so I can do this. I don't think I could do this if it was on the page, just because the cover is more sturdier. It's like a cardboard type of substrate. So what am I going to do here? Well, I think because I don't know what I'm going to do, I do know that I don't want this part here. So I think I'm just going to put white, you know, I'm just going to kind of, and then later on, if I want to put another, if I want to change it into another color, then I guess I'll do that. You know, actually, I think I'm going to repeat this yellow actually. I think I really am going to repeat the yellow there. And bring some of that over there. Now I'm really loving this. And see, there's some yellow over here as well. So I'm just gonna kind of just add a little bit of my yellow shade just to kind of keep that, you know, my eye moving around here. And I'm gonna bring some of that in here. You guys, I am so loving this spread already. Now, I don't know what I'm gonna do here because I do want to keep the face, and I think I want to keep some of that yellow there, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix a green with using, you know, the blue and this particular yellow and the blue that I used here, and I'm just gonna kind of use the green here. And see, Connie does have some green, so I think this is... This is a good addition here, I think. And I'm gonna leave this purple here because I think it works. And normally I have trouble with the purples. Not that I don't like purple, it's just I do have trouble trying to fit it into my color palette. But I think it works there. And I just love dots, you guys. I love markings, I love dots, I love circles. It just makes me happy. So I'm gonna leave that over there, like so. And so I want to bring some of this green in here, just a little bit to keep my eye moving here. And now Connie does have some greens here, so I'm just kind of mimicking what she's doing. But I think I'm just gonna leave this alone for right now and let it dry. Well, I think I am gonna put some blue here, just because I want to cover up this writing over here on the spine. And I'm gonna keep this lady over here, this little drawing Connie did. I've become so emotionally attached to this book, you guys. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but when you're working in a journal for a long time, like I become so emotionally attached to them. Not just this journal, but a lot of my journals. Okay, and there we go. Now I only have my collage over here. This is my collage piece right here, so I want to add more of my collage, but I think I'm just going to wait for all of this to dry. And I'm going to add this line over here. You guys, I am so in love with this already. And it's only, I don't know, it's about halfway done maybe? I don't know. I can't really say, but I'm really loving it. Okay, you guys, I am gonna let this dry completely. And if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.